So Rama and Sita and Lakshmana, what happened? They went to Chitrakuta hill, right? At that time
They went to the forest.
Yeah, they were finding abundance of fruits, roots, sweet water and honey, and they came to the ashrama of Valmiki Muni, and Rama and Sita were happily received by that illustrious rishi, and Rama ordered Lakshmana to bring some logs so that they can construct a small cottage nearby. Thus, within a short time, Lakshmana built a nice residence with a thatched roof. Okay. At Rama's request, Lakshmana performed all the customary sacrifices also, just to make sure that the demigods are pleased with their new dwelling, meaning their new construction, that we have to always do these sacrifices, right? The demigods also receive a portion of the sacrifice. Ultimately, it goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So this is the thing. Meanwhile, after the departure of Haribol, can somebody mute Gauranga Agarwal? So what happens is it is creating disturbance to the others, and hence we don't want to be the cause of disturbance. Okay. Okay. So what happened? Meanwhile, after the departure of Rama, Guha had dispatched the spies to observe Rama unnoticed. When they sent the news that Rama had reached Chitrakuta, Sumatra mounted his chariot to begin his painful journey back to Ayodhya. Now, Sumatra, who was he? He was the minister of right? He who is Sumatra. Sumatra is the minister of Dasharath, and he was accompanying Ram till that place, where till they happened to build a house and everything. Till that time he was there. Now he was supposed to go away from that place because Rama said, "This is enough. Thank you for your gratitude and everything, but now you have to go back and perform your duty. So this is what I want of you." And now what happened? After that, Sumatra actually went down, and the pain of separation was there because he was leaving Ram. He felt so pained at his heart. And Sumatra arrived at Ayodhya in the evening and saw that the city had become nearly desolate. Meaning, when he reached Ayodhya, all of them, there was no festivity, there was no joy, there was nothing. Everybody were feeling so sorrowful because of the separation of Lord Ram. This whole city was actually very, very sad. Everybody were deeply grieving due to the separation from Lord Ram. Then Sumatra's return. Everybody was so curious. Oh, Sumatra returned. Oh, Sumatra returned. Let me go and check with him to see what is going on with Lord Ram. So all of them, they rushed to the place where Sumatra was there. And then Sumatra explained that Rama sent me back after reaching the banks of Ganga. After I reached Ganga, Rama told me, "You go back, Sumatra, you go and do your duty. You take care of Maharaj Dashrath, and that is what you need to do." And not allowing me to escort him further, Rama's journey by foot, he happened to go by foot, meaning he doesn't require the chariot anymore. Rama actually walked in the forest with Sita and Lakshmana. So realizing the Lord was not returning, some of the citizens fainted and wept. So some of them hearing, "Oh, Ram is not going to return anytime soon." So they happened to faint upon hearing that news. What does faint mean? Faint means like this, that's all. They don't have any consciousness in them. They just fainted because Ram was not going to come. Okay, so this is all what we did. Remember, all of you, I mean, we did this. And 1 minute. So now, what happened was, alas, we have lost him, like that the citizen said. And we never forget how he used to glance at us affectionately. So when Ram was here, all the citizens, they had like, Rama glanced upon them. That glance itself was so attractive for all the citizens. Okay. And Rama used to tend to their welfare. Whatever was welfare of the people, that was what Ram was concerned about. Just like how a father will take care of the children, Ram used to take care of the citizens of Ayodhya. And Sumatra then entered the royal palace to see him, to see the afflicted Dasharatha. So now Sumatra is going to the Dasharatha's cabin, and he saw Dasharatha, who was so afflicted with pain, right? and he relayed all the Lord's messages to Dasharath. He told everything that he knows about the Lord to Dasharath. And hearing Sumatra speak of Rama, the king immediately fainted again. As soon as he heard about Rama, the messages from Rama, what happened? The king again fainted. This is love, right? Trying to assist the king. Kaushalya also swooned and likewise had to be helped. And Kausalya also had same feelings for Rama. And she also was trying to help the king, and in that process, she also fainted. Before Sumatra could speak, the queen said, "Why are you now lamenting? It was you who so unkindly banished your son to the forest. You value truth more than your own son, in whom all the truth resides. Arise, O king, lest the followers begin to doubt the wisdom of your action. If you continue to lament, your subjects will perish in the fire of separation from Lord Ram." So now Kaushalya had to speak. She said, "You are responsible for why Ram had to go to the forest, because you were concerned about truth and nothing but truth. And Ram is the personification of truth, and you happen to send him to the forest. And if you're going to keep on lamenting like this, all the citizens there in Ayodhya, they are going to perish. Please, come on, get up." Like that, she happened to speak some words. Lashed by the sharp words of Kaushalya, the king came to the senses. So now he was so already pained, and on hearing the queen's words, he became even more pained. And then Dasharatha said, "What is Dasharatha saying? It's very important. All of you all, are you listening? Very good. You have to listen, okay? I'm going to ask you question and answers at the end of the session. So if you are not listening, we will get to know what your weakness is. Okay, what did Dasharatha say now? Oh, Sumantara, please fully describe whatever Ram has said while departing. Where is he living now? Where is he? What is he eating? What is he eating? And for all these years, he had been accustomed to luxury. He's been a king all this time. I mean, he's used to have a kingly lifestyle. How delicate Sita been able to live in the forest atmosphere? How is Sita doing? How is she able to cope up with the forest atmosphere? Surely her frail body cannot bear the scratch of a thorn or a scorching heat of the sun. How is my beloved son Lakshmana? So he's having so many questions, right? How is my son Lord Ram? How is he managing in the forest? How is Sita? She is so used to the kingdom living in Mithila. And how is she doing? How is she getting accustomed to the forest atmosphere? Her frail body, how is it able to manage the scorching heat? And how is my son Lakshmana? Tell me about it. So what are the austerities? What is he eating? Have they sent me any message? Did they pass on any message? Please tell me. Oh, Sumantara, I can only survive on the strength of your reply. Did they say anything at all? Please give me that message. Only through the strength of your words, only with what you have to say about Lord Ram, Sita, and Lakshmana, will I be able to have a, will I be able to survive? Only through that message, I'm going to be able to survive. So this is what was the response. Okay. And Sumatra knew that Maharaj Dasharath's life could not be sustained but by hearing about Lord Ram. Thus he began to speak as follows. At the time of our parting, Rama instructed me to return to Ayodhya to render service unto you and Bharata. What did Ram say? Sumatra, you have to go and render service to who? Dasharath. And not only Dasharath, but also you have to render service to Bharata. Why Bharata? Because he is the king of Ayodhya now. So it is your duty to take care of them. At the time of our parting, Rama instructed me to do that. And Rama's only concern is for your welfare. And he wants to ensure that your promise to Kaikeyi is fulfilled. What is his promise to Kaikeyi? That Bharata will become the king and he has to go to the forest. So this promise has to be fulfilled. And this is what Ram wants. He also requested I inform his mother Kaushalya that he is faring well. So that he wanted to inform Kaushalya that he was faring well, meaning he was doing well in the forest. This is what he wanted. And what happened after that? In addition, oh Kausalya, your son has requested that you remain constantly devoted and worship your husband's lotus feet as you would do to those of a deity. So he's saying, see, Rama wanted Kausalya to look after Dasharath so much as if taking care of the deity. So that's how she has to show affection to Dasharath, and she has to serve the lotus feet of Lord Ram. So this is what we want of you. And Kausalya, you should fulfill that wish of Rama. Moreover, he has asked you to shun the pride born of position and seniority and treat Queen Kaikeyi as your superior. Likewise, my king, he requests you to install Bharata as their heir apparent to the throne without delay. Even though young in years, he is still a king and deserves to be honored. So he wants to actually give position of Kaikeyi should be superior. He should not treat her badly, and Dasharath should treat the wife Kaikeyi in a very nice manner. Not only that, her son Bharata, even though he is younger to me, he has to be throned as a king immediately, without any delay. There shouldn't be any delay in that process. You have to do it as soon as possible. And this is what I want of you. Okay, so much he has said. He has given instructions to Kausalya, like to take care of who? Kausalya has to take care of Dasharath in a very nice manner. And what does Dasharath have to do? Dasharath has to treat Kaikeyi very nicely, and on top of it, he has to crown the Bharata as a king immediately, not any delay. There shouldn't be any delay. So this is what was the message. Okay, now we saw what had happened so far. Sumatra has come to the Ayodhya. So because of that reason, all the people of Ayodhya rushed to see Sumatra and wanted to inquire about the whereabouts of Ram. And then they found out, okay, Lord Ram is going to be in the forest for some time. He's not going to come back. Because of that, the citizens were mourning. They were crying in deep separation from Lord Ram. And on top of it, when Sumatra happened to go to Dasharatha's cabin, Dasharatha, upon hearing the words from Lord Ram, he happened to faint and became unconscious. And then we also saw Kausalya also was trying to help the king, and in that process, she also became unconscious. Then, once they came into consciousness, Sumatra happened to say some of the words what Rama told to Kausalya, that she has to follow. She has to be very dutiful, chaste wife, serving the lotus feet of her husband. And then Dasharatha, what he should do? He should treat the Kaikeyi very well, and on top of it, he should actually crown Bharata as a king as soon as possible and not delay. These are what he said. And Rama asked me to relay the message to Bharata, begging that he should look upon Kausalya and Sumitra as he does his own mother. Remember, Bharata is born to who? Bharata is born to Kaikeyi. But when he becomes the king, Rama and Lakshmana are not there, right? For Kausalya and Sumitra. Now it is Bharata's duty to take care of Kausalya and Sumitra as if they were his own mother. You should treat them, Bharata. This is what I want of you. You should treat Kausalya and Sumitra in the same way as you would treat your mother, Kaikeyi. Okay. This is another instruction that he is passing to Bharata. So he gave one instruction to Dasaratha, another instruction to Kaushalya, another instruction to Bharata. Okay, these are all questions I'll be asking you. Okay, so please listen carefully. And then what happened now? So now, moreover, O Emperor, I must inform you that poor Sita just stands motionless, oblivious to everything and sighing. She has never experienced such an adversity before. Never such a kind of hatred. She's not passed through such a difficult situation ever in her life. She was actually the princess of king of Mithila, right? I mean, her father was Janaka and he was a king, and she's used to this kingly lifestyle. And never has Sita been such a distress ever. Never such kind of any difficulties has come upon her life. As I was about to leave, However, she looked at the royal chariot and suddenly burst into tears. Upon seeing that royal chariot, she started to cry. After offering obeisances, I left, but my horses wandered, for they were so blind with tears. Even my horses, they were not so willing to leave that forest place near Ganga. Even they started to cry upon separation. O Emperor, as I returned to Ayodhya, I saw...
Separation towards what?
Huh?
Separation towards what?
Lord Ram. Because the horse has to drive the chariot and go back to Ayodhya. And he has to leave Lord Ram. And because of that, he was crying in separation, even that horse. So now Sumatra, he went to Ayodhya after serving Lord Ram till the place, till Ganga. Till that place, after that, Ram said, you better go back to Ayodhya. You have to take care of my father Dashrath and also serve Bharata. So you better go now. So he instructed Sumatra to go, and after this, he is elaborating everything to who's that? Kaushalya, Dasharatha, and Bharata. Rama is giving some instructions, and he's saying all that. And he's saying his horse was also not ready to go away from that forest, and it was also crying in separation from Lord Ram because it has to go back to Ayodhya. And now he's saying, O Emperor, as I returned to Ayodhya, I saw that every moving, non-moving creature within the Koshala kingdom was in a pitiable condition due to separation from Lord Ram. Everybody, moving, non-moving, all of them were in separation from Lord Ram. Overcome by intense separation from Lord Ram, even the trees, flowers, fruits have withered upon from grief. All of them, they wither away, right? They just fall away because of the sadness. The rivers and the lakes, they also dried up. The forest animals, they also did not move anywhere. They used to run, they used to be ferocious, active and all that. They are also not at all moving. Reptiles are also not searching for food. They also don't feel like eating. In ponds, the lotus flowers and the fish, they have all perished. They have all withered away. In cities throughout the kingdom, the gardens have become desolate. That means nobody is there. The birds used to sing in the gardens, and they also fled away. Moreover, seeing the chariot arrive without Lord Ram, the citizens have been cast into an unconscious condition. The citizens were actually expecting, okay, Sumatra is somehow going to convince Lord Ram and he's going to bring him away from the forest. But that did not happen. And because of that reason, everything, including non-moving and moving, all of them, they were all in separation from Lord Ram. The lotus flower withered. There was nobody in the garden. The birds fled away. The animals, they are not looking or searching for any kind of food. So this is what was happening. The lakes and the rivers, they all withered away. This was the mood exhibited in Ayodhya. So my question will be, what is the mood exhibited in Ayodhya by the citizens, by animals, plants, and everything? So for that, this will be the answer. The stunned condition exhibited by the citizens of Ayodhya occurs when a devotee experiences ecstatic tribulation, fear, astonishment, lamentation, or anger on behalf of the Lord. There are many instances where the devotees become stunned when they thought they have lost Lord's association. So now they are going to give an example from Krishna's pastimes. Krishna's pastimes, what happened? The milkmaids of Vrindavana, they were frequently in stunned condition. And the cowherd boys and cows and elders, they were all stunned when they thought that Krishna was going to be killed by Kaliya and some other demon. They used to be in fear. Oh my God, Krishna is going to be killed by Kaliya. Oh, what is going to happen to him? Such a condition is symptomized by inability to speak. What happens during such situations? They cannot even speak. They cannot utter a word. They will be in void, feeling of voidness, meaning empty. They will blank out completely. And so these are all occurring due to ecstatic separation or ecstatic fear or that kind of feeling. When they are overly intensely attached to somebody, then these symptoms will be shown. That is what is exhibited here. So just like the residents of Vrindavana, the people of Ayodhya, they were also stunned because of transcendental love. Okay. So here is a contrast that we are seeing between Krishna's pastimes and Rama's pastimes, how they were all exhibiting the symptoms of ecstasy. Okay. After hearing Sumantra's words, Maharaj Dasharath, he became overwhelmed with grief. And now what he did, he say, In a fit of despair, he declared, "You must take me to where Ram is staying. I want to go there right now or bring him here. Otherwise, I am going to die. I will merge in the ocean of grief. The two boons I granted to Kaikeyi are the shores of ocean, and the terms of Rama's exile is his extent. My inward and outward breadths are the waves and whirlpools. The ocean is further agitated by inflowing rivers of tears shed by Kausalya and others. The flaying of arms in agony is leaping of the fish in the ocean. And Kaikeyi is the submarine fire that causes the shower of the welled up tears, and the words of mantra are the alligators that infest the waters." After saying this, Dasharatha again fainted. So what happened is Dasharatha, he's expressing his lamentation to say, I want to go and see Lord Ram right now. Otherwise, I'm going to die. I'm going to go. I mean, I cannot be without Lord Ram. I want to see him. These Kaikeyi and Mantra, they are like submarine fire and alligators, that infest the waters. And these, because of these people, I granted two boons. I mean, I know that I granted two boons to Kaikeyi, and that is the extent I could go to. Rama's exile is something that I'm not able to tolerate and I'm not able to bear. And this is what Dasharatha said, and he fainted. And then what happened? In agony, the queen wailed, "Oh, Sumatra, if you don't take me to Lord Ram at once, I will also surely die. Please take me to Lord Ram." Both Dasharath and Kausalya, they want to go and see Lord Ram. Otherwise, they are saying they will die. Sumatra could only hope to comfort the queen by saying, "My queen, since he is in the company of Sita and Lakshmana, Rama will pass his time quite happily in spite of living in the forest. See, he is with Sita and Lakshmana. So don't have to worry. They will take care of them. And in that company, Ram will surely pass away his time." Very important, right? It's whose association are we in, right? Sometimes if we are again tempted with people who are playing video games at this age, or tempted with people who are listening to funny music songs, then we will also imbibe those qualities from them, right? I will also like to listen to those kind of things, but it is corrupting to our ears. And this video game, what happens is you keep engaging, the time passes and you will not know you wasted all your time. Similarly, YouTube, you don't know the time passes, right? The time will keep on going because the YouTube is, and internet is engrossing you. Net, right? It's net, it captures you. So we cannot trust the internet. That is why it is important for us to stay away from such kind of bad association, including internet, including TV, video games. But you can do outdoor. If you want to have some relaxation, go outdoor, play all this, because you are getting the association of sun, moon, and everything. They are good for you. So that way you can take association. Only after the class we are allowed to talk, dear. So what happened is, after that, now we understood Kausalya is also saying, I need to go to the forest. And Sumatra is saying, oh, no worries, because of Sita and Lakshmana, Rama will be very happy and time will pass. Thus, even though Kausalya was the foremost of the wives, she began to address Maharaj Dashrath as follows. It is your fault my son has been exiled. She couldn't tolerate. That's why she's going on talking about it. She cannot get out of this lamentation. Allowing these miseries to befall us. How could you be so cruel to your son and his delicate wife? How will Ram and Sita bear to lie upon the bare ground? How will they be able to maintain themselves eating this raw fruit and vegetables and roots? How will they survive the freezing cold, winds, and torrential rains? How will they protect themselves from ferocious animals that wander through the jungle at night in search of prey? How can they maintain? How can they take care of themselves? How can they sustain in the forest? They will be killed by the animals at any point in time. How can you do this, Dasharath Maharaj? How can you do this? This is all because of you. My son is having to go through this, and is along with his wife. Even if Lord Ram survives and returns to Ayodhya after 14 years, Bharata will never be willing to give back the throne to him. Bharata will say, I'm not going to give back the throne to you, Lord Ram. Please, I'm going to rule my kingdom. Indeed, even if Bharata were to offer it, Ram would never accept something like that, which has been already enjoyed by his younger brother. I am so unfortunate for having a wretched husband like you. I'm not at all happy by having you as my husband. The primary support of a woman is her husband, right? The husband has to take care of wife's emotional, physical, and financial needs. That is the duty of a husband. If a wife is lamenting, then emotionally a husband should be able to protect her emotions. Oh, he should come and say, oh, what is going on? So this is what is compassion. Even if your parents are in a very miserable mood, lamenting, you should go and ask your parents, what are they up to? Why are they sad? Why are they lamenting for? And always give them some comfort. You should not be the source of trouble, but you should at least give happiness to them, right? You should never become the source of the trouble by agitating your parents. Very important lesson. And then so the husband also has to maintain his wife and family, right? He's the head of the family, and his duty is to earn and support all the Vaishnavas in the house. And the third thing is, physically, the lady should be protected, right? Nothing should come whenever the lady should never be left at home alone, and that is the reason they have to have somebody who's the male in the family to protect her physically also. So these are the three reasons why women gets married: to have emotional support, to have financial support, and to have physical support. Okay, this is another question that I may ask you. And then secondary support of a woman, when a husband is, say, for example, passed away, then who has to support the mother? Who has to support that lady? She has to be supported by her son. So the secondary support of a woman is the son. And since I am separated from him, I am doomed. See, my primary support, you are the primary support, but you are so wretched because you did this to Lord Ram. What happens if Lord Ram, after completing his 14 years, he comes back? Bharata will say, oh no, I'm going to rule for more time because I've enjoyed, I want to continue enjoying. And even if Bharata is going to give the kingdom to Lord Ram will not accept the kingdom because he will say, it has been enjoyed by the brother and continue enjoying Bharata, I don't have a problem. So in this way, you have ruined Ram's life. And Kausalya's lamentations were so painful to hear. Maharaj Dasharath again became unconscious. Then Kausalya realized how her husband was suffering from her words, and her heart softened. Now she understood that she was inflicting pain to her husband, and she should not do this as a wife. She understood, whenever you are trying to criticize somebody, or whenever you are trying to put the blame on somebody, what happens? You are agitating that person. You are trying to, that's not a good idea, right? Whatever happens is due to the mercy of the Lord. You just accept it, but not complain about the situation. Oh, no, it is because of this person it happened, that person it happened, this guy, that guy. No, it happened because Krishna approved it at the end of the day.
Mataji, you can't.
Yes? Hello?
Sorry.
So don't complain about these situations, okay? When King regained consciousness, they reconciled, and he related the following story. What is this following story? One who does not consider the good or bad reaction of a particular deed is certainly a great fool. Are you all listening? Very important. This particular point I'll be asking everyone, so you have to listen to it very, very carefully. So one who does not consider the good or bad reaction of a particular deed is certainly a great fool. One who cuts down the mango trees to grow thorny bushes will undoubtedly repent at harvest time. This person, he's a fool because he's cutting down this mango tree and he's trying to plant some thorny bushes in there. So this is not a good idea. By banishing Ram to the forest, I have certainly followed this. I'm acting like a foolish person by sending Ram to the forest. Long ago, when I was a young prince, he's saying his story now. Listen carefully. I learned the art of piercing an invisible object with my arrow simply by hearing its sound. Once, as I was hunting at night on the banks of river Sharayu, I heard a sound and I thought of an elephant drinking water. And he just hears the sound and tries to take an arrow and shoot at that particular thing, just hearing that sound. And once upon a time, he went to the forest and he thought at that particular point in time, it was an elephant, and he happened to take his bow and arrow and happened to shoot upon hearing that sound. thinking it is an elephant. However, after I shot my arrow in that direction, I heard a loud scream and a human voice called out, who has cruelly pierced me with this arrow? Even though I am an innocent rishi, who has done this to me? I'm just an innocent rishi and somebody has shot at me. What is going on? Like that, he heard the voice back. Dashrath Maharaj happened to hear the voice back. As that pitiable voice cried out in pain, I ran in the direction of crying. Upon he's just looking, hearing the sound, and he's running to that place to see what is going on. I came upon a young boy lying on the ground with my arrow stuck in his body. This boy has the arrow pierced through his body. Seeing me before him, the boy said, "My old and blind mother and father are waiting for me to bring water to them. See, I have my parents with me. Both of them are blind and they cannot see anything, and they are just waiting for me to bring some water. I came here to fetch some water from the pond, and without my care, they will be unable to continue living. I am the only support for them. Without me, they cannot survive. And please go and confess to them that you have actually mortally wounded me. Please go and reveal to them that you actually wounded me. Before you leave, please pull out this arrow. It is giving me a lot of pain and suffering. Take this arrow out of my body so that I am relieved of that pain." Maharaj Dashrath continued, "I hesitated to pull the arrow because I was afraid if I did so, the boy will die. Sometimes what happens is when the arrow is stuck to the body of the person, as soon as this arrow is lifted upon the body, what happens is the person becomes he may die, because it is there, it is holding its blood and everything is staying intact because of this arrow, and it's inflicting a lot of pain to this boy. And that is why this boy said, "Pull the arrow out of my body, it is creating a lot of pain in me." But when Dashrath Maharaj was hesitant to do, because if he does that, then this boy will die. Seeing my reluctance, the boy assured me, "Do not fear, thinking you will be killing a Brahmana. I am born of a Vaishya father and Shudra mother. Don't think you're killing a Brahmana. I'm not a Brahmana. I'm a Vaishya boy born to a Vaishya father and a Sudra mother." After hearing these words, what happened was Dashrath Maharaj, he pulled the arrow from the boy. I did. The boy instantly gave up his life. He instantly lost his life. I filled his water pitcher and proceeded with a grief-stricken heart to the ashrama of the boy's parents. So now these parents, they were waiting for some water they were waiting for this boy to bring some water to him. And they are waiting for this water. And what I did was I collected some water from the pond, and I happened to go to the ashram to see the grief-stricken parents. There, I told the old, feeble, blind couple. They heard me approach. They thought that it was their son who came to them, and they began to address, "Oh, son has come," and they started to address him with affectionate words, right? This caused my heart great pain. I was not able to tolerate it because they were expecting the son and they were saying some nice things, affectionate words. They were calling upon the son. And how can I deliver the news of his son not being there anymore? I took some courage and explained to them how I accidentally killed their son. I happened to hear the voice of an elephant and I thought it was an elephant there. So I shot the arrow at that elephant, thinking it was an elephant, when in fact it was the boy. "I'm not your son," I explained. "I'm a Kshatriya king, Dashrath. I mistook the sound of your son collecting water for an elephant drinking. In my ignorance, I shot an arrow and killed your son. Your Holiness, please tell me, how can I atone for my sin? Please tell me, how can I atone? Um, how can I be relieved of this great sin of killing your son?" Because Dasharath was a learned man, he knew he could not escape the reaction of the sinful deed. Whatever sinful actions that we perform in this material world, it will come back to us at some point in time. You think you may be winning at this particular moment, but you're not winning, you're losing, because something else will come to you in future and it's going to attack you. So always think when you are trying to speak badly, speak without respect, not respecting elders, your parents, or anything for that matter, It is definitely going to happen at some future point in time. If you are getting married, your son will not respect you. Not if you're not at all getting married in this lifetime, in the next lifetime, whenever you're getting married, this will happen to you, where your son also will not respect you. Do we want that situation to happen? No, right? So we have to be very, very careful of how we treat others. Treat the way you want to be treated. Okay, treat them in the same way that you want to be treated. Okay, that should be the mood. Thus, he intelligently inquired about the proper means of atonement. Very intelligently, he asked, how can I atone for the sin? And scriptures advise every intelligent man should atone for his sins before death to avoid suffering in the next life. If you are making a mistake, go to your parents immediately and say sorry to them. Get an excuse. Immediately say, oh, I'm sorry. I just reacted at this particular point because of this reason. Because I was not happy about something else, I happened to speak to you harshly. Please forgive me. This forgiveness will always help you, not only with your parents, even if you go to a hostel and stay in a dorm, something will happen there. And if you're trying to be rude, nobody will help you, right? So we have to always have this Vaishnava etiquette of saying sorry and begging for forgiveness whenever we make mistakes. One has to make restitution according to the gravity of the offense. Even though many people today question the existence of future life, the stringent laws of karma, action and reaction, they are at work, and no one is excused, not even on the plea of ignorance. Just because you don't know you're committing something bad, that doesn't excuse you from reaction. You will get the reaction no matter what. Even if you don't know, you are going to get the reaction for whatever sinful actions that you have committed. When people break the laws of God and nature, they must reap the results. That is what is told in the scriptures. Birth after birth, possibly descending to the lower species and to the hellish planets. So depending on the gravity of the skin, you will even go to the hellish planets if you're committing some abominable acts. In order to avoid this, Dasharatha immediately tried to counteract his sin. He was very intelligent. He found out, okay, I made a blunder. In a situation, somebody will be like, oh, let me just not even go and meet his parents. What if we just flee away from the place? Right? Somebody may think that he may think that is intelligent. And this was all guided by a mind, right? And Dasharatha was fair enough. He went to his parents, he admitted his mistakes, and he also asked for atonement. This is what an intelligent person will do. And this is what we need to learn. Are you all listening? See, Mataji is doing so much of effort in trying to help you understand. If you're not listening, you're actually the loser, right? You are very much losing on the subject matter. And now, what happened? After hearing this, the old sage replied, because you have voluntarily confessed your sin, I shall not curse you. I'm not going to curse you, dear. If I were to do so, then you would die instantly. If I'm going to curse you right now, you will die instantly. Just on the spot, you will be gone. Since you killed my son out of ignorance, your life is spared. I'm sparing you because you killed my son out of ignorance. You didn't know. You mistook him to be the elephant. Now, please take me to where my son is lying down. I want to see I want to feel my son because he can't see him literally. I led the blind couple to where their sons laid lifeless, and they began to caress his body and cry out pitifully. They started to cry and lament, and they happened to touch and feel the person's body, his son's body. They were just feeling that because they cannot see out of their own eyes. They were just feeling the body of his son who has been killed by Dasharatha Maharaj. Then, as soon as they offered libations of water for their son's departed soul, King Indra descended to the spot on the celestial chariot. After that, Indra descended upon down. After assuring the aged parents that they would attain the same exalted destination as the sun, Indra took the boy in the celestial form to the heavenly planets. Indra happened to take this boy who was dead, and he also assured that his parents also will go to the same destination as the sun, to the heavenly planets. The old aesthetic then cursed me. Just as we are now experiencing the great anguish upon the death of the son, you will have to feel the same grief due to the separation from yours. Just as how I am feeling separation from my boy who is dead now, like that, you will also feel the same sort of separation from your son. Then the old age sage and his wife threw themselves upon the son's funeral pyre, and they gave up. They also, when the body was burning, they also gave up their life along with the son, and they left this world and they ascended to Intraloka, Swarga, to the heavenly planet. This is what they did. My dear Kausalya, today I am reaping the fruits of my horrible crime. I am dying of a broken heart. I can feel the power of senses ebbing away like a flame of an oilless lamp. I know that death will come to me very soon. O Queen, I have already become blind with grief. Please touch me so that I can be assured of your presence. Please just touch me so that I can feel your presence. I am going to die. I know that death is coming to me soon. I cannot no longer live in this world. I'm just narrating you this incident so that you can relate how painful I am at my heart for losing my son, just as how the Rishi also felt the separation from his son. Maharaj Dasharath, he continued to lament in separation from Lord Ram while remaining fully absorbed in his memory. He was completely Ramasmaran. Ramasmaran was going on in the mind of Lord Ram, nothing but thinking about Lord Ram, thinking about his activities, thinking about what he'll do. So this was complete absorption in Lord Ram. When half the night passed away, king left his mortal body. Like this, thinking about Lord Ram, completely, fully absorbed in thinking about him, Dashrath Maharaj gave up his body, right? Because he so greatly loved his son Rama, the supreme personality of Godhead. King Dasharatha attained the Lord's abode. So we all know whatever state of mind you have at the time of death, that is the abode you go to. And basis of that, he was completely absorbed in the thinking about Lord Ram, and he went to Lord Ram's abode.
Mataji, but when did Dasharath Maharaj passed away?
Yeah. Come. Any devotee who always thinks of Lord Ram while eating, sleeping, working, or relaxing attains the Lord's transcendental abode. Thus, although King Dasharath had to endure the reaction of his past offense, he achieved his desired goal, that is being eternally associated with Lord Ram. Okay, even though he was dead, it was okay because he was able to have the desired goal. What is everybody's desired goal? To be eternally associated with the Supreme Lord, to be serving the Supreme Lord eternally. That is the goal of an individual. And that is what is the state of Dasharath Maharaj. Even though he died, no problem. He was able to still get that eternal goal of being in the association of Lord Ram. Okay, now we can go to the question and answer session, kids. So we are okay, let's go on. Third. Okay, so let's ask the questions now. What happened? First, so can you all do your raised hands, please? Are you able to mute and everything? Unmute, sorry. Okay, I see Govind hands raised, and everybody, please raise your hands. Okay, the first question goes to Mihika. Are you here, Mihika?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so what happened? So what was Sumatra? Sumatra, what was he saying? What was the condition of the citizens of Ayodhya when Sumatra happened to come to the city of Ayodhya?
When Sumatra came to the city of Ayodhya, all the citizens thought that that Sumatra convinced Rama that to come back, and now that Rama's on the chariot. But when they saw that no one was on the chariot, they asked why, and they started lamenting, and a few also fainted when Sumatra told that Rama is still staying in the forest, and he instructed me to come back.
Very good, Mihika. Absolutely right answer. Okay, now second question to Manhar. So at what spot was Sumatra asked to leave? What particular spot was Sumatra asked to leave by Lord Ram?
when they reached reached Ganga.
Wonderful. Very good attentive listening. I'll come back to you again with another question. Okay, Manhar? All
Okay.
right. So you just be there. Varun. So what were the three things that Sumatra happened to tell? One to Dashrath Maharaj, like what was the instruction passed on, and one to Kaushalya, another to Bharat. What were those instructions? So he was asked to take care of Dashrath Maharaj, who had to crown Bharat as a king.
And then he has to take good care of Kaushalya.
So Kaikeyi, she has to be treated.
She has to be treated
nicely.
And like everyone has to be like treated like equally. And then for Bharata, he has to be crowned king.
Immediately. No, Bharata, he was asked to treat Kaushalya and Sumitra as equal to Kaikeyi because they don't have, the mothers are not there right now, right? So you did not. And then third one, to instruction to Kausalya, what was that? He also gave instruction. Okay, Govind, say, what was the instruction to Kausalya?
Instruction of the Kausalya he said to Rama to serve the lotus feet of.
Wonderful. To serve the lotus feet of Dashrath Maharaj. That is the beauty of a chaste wife. Govind, you are muting and unmuting, dear. But your answer is right. You are absolutely right that he has to serve the lotus feet of. So now can somebody repeat and summarize the three instructions? Very, very important instructions.
Wait, that Kaikeyi said?
The three things that was requested by requested by Lord Ram, he passed it on to Sumatra to say, okay, Bharata, he has to do this. Dasharath, he has to do this. And Kaushalya, she has to do this.
I know this sounds it.
Bharata has to be the king. Dashratha, no, sorry. Kaushalya has to take care of Dashratha.
Lotus feet of Dashratha. That was the instruction to Kausalya. And then the instruction to Dashrath Maharaj was to crown Bharat as a king immediately and also treat Kaikeyi. Crown Bharata as a king immediately and treat Kaikeyi as equal, superior to like Kausalya and Sumitra. And then to Bharata, what was the instruction?
This Govinda.
Yeah, go ahead.
Govinda said the Bharata need to serve the Sumitra and Kaushalya because their son is not there.
Yes, very, very good listening, Govinda. Now, Shiva, Goparaju. What was Sita? So what was this story about young boy that Dashrath Maharaj was talking about? Why did he talk about that story?
Because Dasharath accidentally killed a boy because he thought he was an elephant.
Wonderful, very good. How old are you, Shiva?
6.
6 years? So much attentive listening? Oh my God, you're unbelievable. Good job, dear. Okay, next question. To who? Who else has raised their hands? Okay, Aditya, you haven't. What do we learn from that story? Any lessons that you learned from the story, Aditya?
I learned something.
You have to really no matter what happens, like somebody, they're like not being very nice or something, you shouldn't show enmity toward them and act like really bad toward them. In this case, like Dasharatha should not like act like Kaikeyi. She's like bad compared to everyone else because she made Rama leave. And also, like
Yeah,
you can also learn that I'm
from
not
the
sure about that yet.
young boy story, you can learn something, right? Okay, Varun.
You can learn that as the young boy told Dasharatha to go tell his parents that he killed him, and most people, they will just run off and they will be like, oh, they will say that they will, but then they will just run off because they don't want to. But Dasharatha actually, he actually went to the parents and admitted his mistake.
Yes,
and because of that, the parents did not curse him.
Yes, the parents, eventually they cursed.
They cursed him.
Eventually they cursed. Okay, continue that story, Manhar. What happened after that? And what was that intelligent question that what was that intelligent action that Dasharath Maharaj performed after that act of killing that boy?
So Dasharatha, after killing that boy, he told the parents of the boy that he had committed a mistake, that he thought it was an elephant drinking water from the water. Drinking water.
Yes.
So he told them the whole story. So that's why that was intelligent. If he hadn't told them, he would have been cursed.
Yes, another point is very important. I thought Nirvan Jain was raising his hands.
Can you see can you ask the question, please?
What other thing that did he? How can you say he's intelligent? What else did he do as an act of intelligence? He actually asked for atonement. How can I atone my sins, right? How can I atone my sins? So that was intelligent, because whenever you make a mistake, okay, you committed a mistake, but then what is the next step? You have to go and ask for forgiveness to that person. Unless that person forgives you, you will be punished in the law of karma. So if you ask for forgiveness, there is a chance that you will be forgiven even by Lord himself. So that is why it is important. Okay, I did this mistake. I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry, dad. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry, friend. If this was my mistake, I'm really sorry. I really sincerely, deeply regret from my bottom of my heart. And you have to regret it, and you should not commit that mistake ever again. Okay, it is not like you ask for repentance and externally ask for repentance and commit that mistake over and over again. Oh, I say I don't care, but then immediately I'm sorry about it. I'm sincerely sorry. I repent for it, and I also pray that I don't do this mistake again. This should be the mood. Okay, do you understand it, Nirvan?
Yeah, I understand.
Good job. Okay, Garima, do you want to answer a question here? Okay, I can't hear. Okay, I think whoever has raised hands, all of you all got it. Mihika, are you good? Do you want to answer one small question again?
Yes, Mataji.
Who built the house of, who happened to build the cottage of Lord Ram?
Themselves, nobody actually did followed an order, but Rama and Lakshmana, he ordered Lakshmana to build a house.
Yeah, Lakshmana built a thatched house near the ashram of Valmiki. Remember? Yeah, hut, correct, with a thatched roof. Anyways, very good job, all of you all. It was a very interesting session today, and hope you all benefited out of this. And Shiva, 6-year-old boy, you are fantastic. Okay, if you are listening, continue listening the same way you do. Wonderful job. Okay, and see you all next week, same time. Okay, we are all meeting Sunday, 9 a.m. PST. Okay. All right. Bye, kids. Have a good day. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा